Well, that was perfect timing. Not really, but worked out pretty good. What up, people? How y'all doing? I don't usually like to plan it like that, but it just so happened I planned it like that because why the hell not? Greetings, flyers. How y'all doing this week, this last week, this past week, this new week? About to close out the year of 2026 is January. Seemed like it dragged its ass, didn't it? Man, the world over. Look, it's a constellation. It's a bright, starry sky. One thing I have learned, okay, I've been stupid for many years, and the stupidity has like not worn off. And what I mean by that is, through the years, people have given me these awesome presents. And remember, I told you how I have all these presents about how I have all this aircraft literature, paper aircraft literature. And I rather enjoy the fact that I have all this paper aircraft literature. Um, as well as having, it was my early venture into the journey that is paper aircraft folding and learning the techniques or learning well about it, like what others do and stuff like that. So learned it, and now there's the internet, so many different ways. Why are you being a butt? Jesus, dick on a stick. What the hell's going on here, dude? The fuck? Hold on, being a man. Stop. I want the wire to go down the hole. Alright. Alright. I'm alright. Sorry. This just well, here we go. Was trying not to do that and here I did it anyway. Anyway, yeah, like so the people gave me the gifts, right? And I got the gifts and I got the books and I got the pads, but I also got kits. And in said kits, you know what they came with? Paper. And so lo and behold, I haven't been using this paper, and so lo and behold, I'm gonna be like every time all these times I've been going like, man, I wish I had some paper. Don't have any paper on hand, and I'm looking at like, notebook sheets or copy sheets, and like, man, I could have been using these kits because these kits have crazy sheets. Like if you remember last week's plane, built out of that. This week's plane, built out of this. Just one of the many things. A lot of the problems with the kits, of course, is they usually come with like folds on them and the instructions. This one doesn't have it, so I'm okay there. But I just wanted to build one with stars on it because it'd be the darkest one I've ever built. But they do come with stickers, and it really gives you a whole lot of options. Like, didn't realize this one was so like, dude, these are stars. There's lightning bolts, but look, like I'm covered, man. Like, dude. Okay, those I will never use that garbage. That's just hot garbage. But like the on fire, well, that's kind of weird. There's commas in there, all kinds of gradient. This is just like there's scales. This is rigid. These are like angled waves. This is straight lines. This is really cool. There's arrows, bars, the eyeballs, whatever the hell that is, but it's cool. I mean, the point is they're stickers. So it's like, huh, look at that. Like create a whole mess of stuff. And I mean, like that was okay. I had the pad, like we were like looking at the pad and looking through the paper and stuff like that. But I didn't realize, like, my God, look at the options. Like I didn't know all that was under there. I opened it up and sure enough, there it is. And this sheet, like every once in a while, of course, you have those, and they have instructions, but then sometimes they don't have instructions. So you can alter your construction. You can make one of your own. I mean, a lot of the designs in there are prefab, so like their instructions are on there, and well, then it's like, yeah, you can build it, but it's not going to line up unless you build it and follow their instructions, and then it comes out, and it comes out right. But do you want it to look like that? I don't think so. It don't matter. I'll make it look like however the one I look like. This, the the only problem is if you're trying to build an aircraft that's like symmetrical, you're going to have a problem because obviously when you're dealing with something like these, like this is, yeah. black on black action or dark on dark action or any of the bright dark whatever it happens to be, it's gonna mess with you just because it's dark. I don't know other way to say it. Like the shading may work, but if you see like star on star, I don't know. I'm scared. But let's get into it because I'm trying to you know what the deal is. Like if I tell you about all the activity out there, like man, there's been some flying, there's been some building. I looked at some videos during the course of the week, and I tell you, it's pretty hot stuff. It gets you pumped for doing it. It gets you pumped for like getting out there when it's not 3 outside. Which actually it's been like 3 outside for the past 3 days. Before that it was -3. So we have a little variation in our temperature, but it's not not exciting. Not like you'd want to be a part of it. The cool thing about this too is, of course, when you play with these, like you can rest assured you're not getting. Well, first of all, you got to make sure that you got pens that can write on dark paper, or else you're gonna coat it and you're not gonna see it unless you use like these nifty, handy dandy little letters and stuff that come with there. And that might not be a bad idea. These actually, I don't know if you can see this or whatever, but because of the way they textured it, it's like the 3D rendering that you got with like some of our words. It does come out kind of weird, doesn't it? You can't make it out because the LED light's fighting it, but they're textured because there's a dark red, almost red outline to the top, the pink, and then the blue, which, as you're seeing, it makes it look like it's moving. Because cameras, it's just atrocious. I don't know. I'll enjoy messing with you with that one, but so yeah, um yeah, there's news on the fronts. There's videos out there to go watch. If you want to see like people doing their no, I want to do it this way. It's fine. People doing their stuff that you normally see. It looks good. I really recommend some of these videos, like members videos, but obviously first and foremost. However, we are really quiet right now. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. I got to hold the fort down because I can't talk one into making a video. I can't talk one how to stop doing all kinds of work at the house or the home. I can't get one to like come home and then like, dude, just man, what day is gonna work for y'all? Come on, make it happen. We can make this happen. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, Captain. Anyway, um, within the sphere, and then the other subscriptions, like we tell you about, like all the aircraft that are out there. Um, go watch you some videos. Go see. There's a lot of cool stuff. Um, I was making the weekly show something about a review, and like the review is cool, but um, I find that people are like want to watch this, want to watch that. You want variety in your lives. Everybody wants variety in their lives. And this is some thick stuff. It actually ripped near the tip right there. That little white that you can see is forming. It actually ripped that. So this is well, it's interesting. I didn't figure it was gonna do that garbage, but we're folding and like once again, I was thinking I'm always at risk when I start folding it. I always wonder if I'm gonna be doing y'all right. I'm gonna be doing y'all quiet and like you're gonna sit there and stuff. And I even thought of topics to talk to you about while I was doing it, but I'm also like, I can't get into Lord have mercy. I can't get into too much just because like then I'll rant and I don't want to lose you to a rant. We didn't turn this into a paper plane and more. Another one of those need to come out there. Haven't had one of them in a while. We should probably do one of those so I could like let loose about all the stupid crap going on in the world. Like, don't worry, people. It's about to be all over. Like, something's gonna happen, and it's gonna be tragic, and nobody's gonna care. But rest assured, it's going to happen. So, lingering around. What's up, Matt? How you doing, man? You having a good week? You all right? Uh, Look at the garbage that I did right there. It's like my first day folding. How did it meet up one way, and this didn't meet up the other way? I Every once in a while, you ever hear of those planes that make you feel like a rank amateur? Get me a rock like Jason has. Nah. More power to him. Jason, good guy. good builds and stuff like that. But I ain't pansing out by getting no rock. My fingernails are just good enough for that crap. And I've been using them for so long now. It's like it doesn't really. I just don't care. So anyway, this is kind of what I wanted to do. Oh, okay. I'm following an idea here. There's. Am I creating something new? Yes. Duh. All this is like lately. Don't feel like you're missing out. What's going to happen is a few these times recently, lately, I'm actually going to just be building some new because my company still is undergoing some sweeping changes after a voyage of self-discovery, a voyage of self-realization, and this ain't gonna work the way I want it to because the sweep's gonna go too far back. I should have thought of that ahead of time. I should have pulled it the tip, then brought it down, and then, man, I can make this work, but it's not gonna work the way I envisioned it. That's all. Um, so what I'm planning on doing is like we'll probably do like a series of builds on the show. Um, Probably some new builds. You can follow along, see if you get excited, see if it's just like, oh, that's crap, or it's like that looks interesting. Whatever, try something new, and then probably run into like I'll probably build some OE's planes, or probably build some Powerhouse's planes, or probably build some KIA's planes. Just that's what I mean, like where we spend like some time on like a month of worth of shows on like a construction or two, however long it takes. Well, I mean, if we do Powerhouse's planes, it's gonna be like 1 month, be one plane the whole month. But the others of us, we can probably get like hell, we could probably get done three a night if we have an hour long show. But also like new ones. If you're building one, just like you got ideas and on the top of your head, you're trying to run it down. Works a little differently. You're like, okay, I foresee this becoming. Well, I foresee it's becoming something it's not becoming, so I got to change it up. And this, it's always for me anyway. If you're trying to create something for the first time, I sorry, I'm pondering this, but like it's not a matter of you don't know what you're doing. Every day's your first day. Every build's your first build. If you've never built it before, well, I've never built this before, so it's like it's a wide open canvas. But the problem is with paper crafting, with this, it's not. How do I put this? You don't you don't know where you're going, and if you fold, you're committed. So especially if you crease it, and I've always been taught to crease, so if I've creased it, I've got to go with it. And these in paper aircrafting, it's like you just well, if you don't have your idea, if you lost the idea, now what do you do? Like now you're this is it. So you can't take out your mistake. You can't simply erase it. You got to unfold it and then you got to uncrease it. And uncreasing it, ooh, man, it's like rough. And this is bad too because this is thicker paper that I don't know if you've noticed this, but like see this white line that's formed because like the paper is kind of like stark and then dyed to create this. So I don't think it's actually much thicker than copy paper. I think whatever ink they use to cover both sides is on it, and now it shows through. And I don't care about that. We're not trying to build something camouflage. But can you imagine flying this at night? Man, like I'm gonna lose this plane any night, really. Although, like if it's one of those cloudy nights where it's about to rain or snow or foggy or like okay, we're naming humid nights, which you probably wouldn't want to fly a paper airplane in, but you take this out there and the dark shadow will show up on the cloudy. Oh man, that would make a great picture. I'm gonna try to capture one of these. I'll build this right. I'm gonna try to capture one of these at night. I've got a series of black planes, so like I'll probably try to capture those at night and see what that looks like, and that'll be the new symbol for Friday night flights, which you also haven't seen a lot of. I'm sorry about that. You're up here, But like you notice I made a slight adjustment again, and now the camera's actually even more straighter and dead on. You like that? Just playing with stuff and realizing how dumb it was, sticking around with the angled and angled because that's how the camera used to be. It was like this and like this. So now I've actually got it more straight down, out of the way because it used to be down here. Like this is some good stuff. I could probably jack it up, but I don't want to like. Mark, dude, cameras, let's go. Like seriously, I got to make this stuff up as I go. Anyway, um, but see, once you get the other problem is too is once you get the ideas and you know you want to use like the sheet. And now I'm thinking about the planes that I want to build and fly and take a picture of, and I know it's got to fly, so I can't be building an experimental model that might just crash into the ground. I want to take a nice picture, so now I can't be burning through paper that looks like this when they're shitty planes. When I need to make them nice planes, so I've got more kits, I got more sheets. I'm not too terribly concerned. It's just it could get to be. What the hell did I put it? It could get to be a problem. So I know, get on with it. Well, I'm thinking because I'm like not happy with the weight distribution already. It could turn out to be a great glider, but you know, we're crafters. We're artists, but we're not artists. We're crafters, right? And I got no problems with that. I got no problems with artists. Ooh, that's ice. Kind of weird to keep water in your car, in your garage, and ice forms in it. Yeah, it's pretty cold here. Anyway, it's all kinds. I just want to get that out here. Like everything that we do, everything that I do, everything you'll see our members do. You may have done it before. You may not have. We don't care. We don't care. Like we care about you as a people. We care about you as a builder. We care about you as an artist. But like whether or not you like you're just starting out or you're an advanced person in the stages, we don't care. We don't see. We see we're equals as long as we can create something that flies. You know what I mean? So I just want to say that. However, that being said, there are some people that are a little bit much. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm not even talking about videos I watched. I am talking about the fact that a video I watched mentioned the video that he watched and that we probably all watched and been like, yeah, that guy. And you guys probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that guy. But like it rears its ugly head every once in a while. Sometimes I feel like this time of year. And most of us that do this are pretty humble because it's an art and craft formed in your like in the confines within a sphere of yourself and your friends and your closest associates. So it's like I'm not trying to alienate anybody by saying, man, my plane's better than yours. That thing sucks. And so on and so forth. I wouldn't dare. I mean, it's like I think everybody's got something I don't know. I've been doing this a long time and I've been making a bunch of planes, but like I don't think I'm as prolific a builder as OAE over there, Matt over there, or I don't think I'm as grandiose a builder as Dalton over there. Like at these, it's just it's a different matter. I might have built more planes than a lot of people, but it just I don't care. I'm not putting these numbers out there. So I'm happy with what I've done. I'm happy with what y'all have done. As long as you guys are happy with it, that's all that really matters. So I've just got an Air Corps to run and be a part of. So I've got to worry about more things and more things that are going on with me. Is I just got some things going on and I'm realizing hardcore that like things have to change quick. So this is probably this might be thick enough, but it might be too flimsy to do what I plan on. And definitely flimsy if I'm not going to put anything up. Mother. Remember we were talking for a time about hybrids, and we have not forgotten that. I've not forgotten that at all. It's just I haven't had a chance to actually use it yet. And I mean, like actually, Javelin started using it, and then Javelin up and retired on me. So no need for that. Um, but I'm thinking about all the planes that I'm going through, and like again, keeping with my core group, my fleet, and the core itself. And like I'm coming up on some retirements. Like it's 26, which means any plane built by the turn of the century, he's 25 years old, and it's like, well, do I keep him or do I start making some newer crap? Well, I kind of set that ball in motion by retiring Javelin out from underneath y'all, and then basically taking anything born before the year 2000 and retiring it flat out. Sorry about that, but it had to be done. Actually, I guess it didn't have to be done, but I don't know. Half a mind to bring Javelin back just because of that. It's like I like to talk to y'all about, like, there's no reason with paper crafting that we can't bring our biplanes back. We don't want to bring the flying bus back, but a classics, there's no reason why you can't throw a classic. There's no reason why we can't mod a classic and call it our own by putting enough mods on it that it's like, oh, I've never seen that before, and so on and so forth. But we always consider our advancements in technology as an advancement, and like the world kind of, our worldview is skewed. Like everything you see from the iPhone 2018 to the 2045, whatever the hell it's on right now, or like Fast and Furious 87, whatever movie they're on right now, or shit like that. Like you don't go back. I mean, you have a retro look, but you don't have a retro feel. It doesn't do retro things. You're not going to trade your freaking, what is it, 2,472 macro, or excuse me, megabyte camera for like the 1 meg camera. You know what I mean? You don't go back, especially technology wise. But this isn't really true tech. So you can go back. It doesn't really hurt. If you develop something brand new and you never put it on a plane that's like 30 years old, for us, that's doable. That's not far fetched. That's doable. And who knows? Like I think you can't rob yourself of the possibilities. If a plane in the past could have benefited from a tech from the future, from the now, and you put it on there, it's like, holy crap, it's a new plane entirely. Like, believe me, there could be a chance. I mean, yeah, I put these to bed, but I've never really truly put them to bed. And so far, none have been rehashed. I've just been kind of constantly working them. Like, I mean, Nova stayed on a frontline duty, went into the reserves, then came back into frontline duty, then did both, and then retired. But I'm telling you, if there's some tech that I find that like wakes it up, it'll be a frontline bastard again. Trust me on that one. Especially planes that you like. I mean, I'm talking in our world, of course, but for planes that we like, and nothing says you have to retire or anything. We, the members of our group here at IVPAC, we think in terms of that because we think of, we're a corps, we're an air force, we're an armed service. So, well, as armed as we could be by flying aircraft, but like we think in terms of like stages along the ages. Like, or something I built when I was 10 years old probably ain't gonna be as good as something I built when I was 20 years old. If I kept going, and I'm going to be better, it's going to be better. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't build the plane you built when you were 10 years old in the now with all the stuff that you've learned. You know, Again, that just makes that plane newer. So it ain't bad. It's nothing bad. I don't think it's bad. But I digress. It's not what this is about. It's just about building, learning new things, sharing ideas, getting it out there. So I got to be a little bit better about that. Like, I'm realizing that now. That's why the how to builds are like, I'm a little bit more anxious getting the how to builds over. Now the reason why you haven't seen the first one especially, because I told you the first one's on Nova itself, and it looks good. It's just I've had to change its wording around now, which is actually somewhat the most important thing. But I realized that it's not what I just told you. It went from active duty to the reserves to wanted to kick it out, went on hiatus. Then it went to both reserves and active duty, and now it's retired. So I would have to change that just to reflect that, because when I made the video, it was still on active duty, but now it's like retired, so the numbers stopped. So I got to change the wording around for that. That's the simple part. The other part about it is just how descriptive it is. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Yeah, that it's complex. Not just paper aircrafting, but video production is also kind of a big thing. All these people that are doing this on YouTube are like, okay, they're nobodies like I am, but like, it takes a little special something to get this stuff down so it looks kind of good. I mean, our show, boy, it's pretty stripped. We've made it look better through the years, but it's pretty stripped. And yes, I understand you want to see like stuff like this, stuff like people see, like, hey, it's live, it really happens. But like, just we're here. You hear it. We're live. I'm talking at you, ain't it? This ain't AI. Although I have considered changing the voice in the camera view. I'm telling you, man, when I get Snapcam on here and I turn into that talking potato. Oh man, I get a special gig out of that talking potato. How to build? Hey, Matt, dude, if I can like get a pancake thing while we make the pancake, wouldn't that be cool? I'm just saying it's a lot easier to get like say the Vulcan, you know what I mean, or Warhawk, but a pancake is doable and it's funny. Yeah, it just I'm thinking because I'm also thinking like, well, a javelin, for example, a javelin, pretty stupid. Phase, well, it doesn't have anything. There wouldn't be it. What would you do? I mean, there's a lot of a vampire. Okay, a vampire would happen. As a matter of fact, I got some glitch cameras in there that actually would work. But I'm also thinking a pancake would just be totally fucking amusing. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just I like following ideas of the show and then hoping you turn into something cool and then I'd be so disappointed in this. I'm gonna make another one probably. I don't know if you remember. See, what if I did two of them? I'm not gonna like this because I'm not gonna like this. There's not enough fold to give it structural integrity in the back. unless, unless, unless. It'd be wicked weird if I do this, but I'm trying to consider the intangibles here. All the stuff that you want to turn this into an aircraft, you know what I mean? And still keep it. I have to keep it strong. There's three little stars right there. Whatever. God damn it. I'm like making a mess. I'm making a mockery of my construction. An idea. Ooh, this is dangerous. Okay, bear with me. This is dangerous. Oh my god, that's dangerous. Yeah, I know. I know I'm quiet, but like this is important. This is important. Right, wait. Let's make this easy before I just screw this up totally. Already bad enough. I don't have to make it worse. Okay. There's a reason. There's a method to my madness. I did this on purpose, which I'm fixing now here. And I've also noticed something else. If I crease this paper too much, I could create a perforation. I'm feeling it now. It's a nice fold, but I'm in jeopardy of making it rippable. And I don't want to do that. I promise it's turning into be something. I can't fold that anymore, or else it's going to create something I could rip down. I can't do it. I can't do it. So we're not going to either. I don't know why. And if you notice any of my builds, if you notice my builds and I build this, I have this habit of starting off on this side of the aircraft. I almost always do. I don't know why it's ripping in the back. I just do. I don't know why. Like, I got no problems using scissors, using tape to hold down stuff, make it smooth, and and like, I'm gonna be so disappointed in this. I'm gonna be so disappointed in this. Hey, look who's here. Hey, Abby, how many accounts do you have anyway? My God, like you've got like 42 names. It does make me wonder how many people have a presence on YouTube. That like, do you have one present or 4,200? Are you Legion? Are you out there being Legion? Looks like a box, doesn't it? Looks like crap, doesn't it? But it is a little technological marvel because I did give it a W body or an M body or whatever the hell it is you want to call it because I doubled the keel. Not done yet. Actually, let's bring our trusty Sizz into the play. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to need both because I got to fine tune it. I always have two of them handy. You know, these scissors have stuck with us through the duration of the show. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but like going on since 2014, 2012, when we did the show initially, I still had these puppies. Bought these things a long time ago. They are sharp as all hell. I know that after I cut myself on one 2 days ago, making the same damn thing. It was kind of crazy. Anybody seen Ben? Okay, well, you have one account, but you keep changing the name. Where at? There? No, there. It's kind of lightweight. I'm going to add the weight, but it's kind of lightweight. So I really don't want to actually add too much for fear of giving it a higher wing loading than it would normally have. So I'm thinking there. I'm also thinking it's not going to be this long. I'm probably going to cut this much of it off. You do something because you had, dude, we can go back and look at post videos and see how many times you've had. First of all, this is the first time I've seen numbers. That's why I made the comment. Well, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. Forgive me. It's adding you. So with the at sign in front of you, maybe that's your like username. But I've seen different accounts. And where's those flights, bro? Why don't you give me a flight video? I want to see what you've done with the aircraft that you're talking about, like getting exile and stuff. KIA is trying to get to the show. I was thinking he was going to stop in tonight, so we may have a surprise visit. D, are you listening? Can you make an appearance? Because I can make it happen. I think I can make it happen. See, here's the problem. I lose them for so long that I actually don't know how I can make this shit work on the fly. Like, I've got it set up, and I do have the savings set for our 3, 4 more camera setups. But once we get, it's like playing games with my other partners at gaming. When we game a lot of times, like we change our game setup so much, or we take a hiatus and then come back, and then like something changes, something updates, and then we look through it, and it's like, oh my God, how the hell did we do this the last time? Part of me wants to go this route. Part of me wants to go this route, and part of me wants to go this route. I'm really now that I did it, I'm kind of inclined to go this route. Everybody look. This is that shot that everybody look at, like, no, don't do it there. Like, yeah, do it there. No, don't do it there. No, you do it. I know there's like, when we get popular, we do like live voting and say like, okay, so where should I make the cut? Here, 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 here. Should I make the cut this way, this way, this way, this way? I like where I was originally going to go because once again, once you do it, you're committed. I could get funny and make an S cut. Ooh, or get funny and make an S cut. Hell, I could actually bust out the seam ripper things and make a freaking scalloped cut. No, can't do that. You can't start out with different classes of technology on a brand new something because then you'll never know what made it good, bad, or ugly. I did the scalloping back there. I do find that scalloping or ridging, like if you do the edge waves, I think that's my other sheet. So I got two of them. I do find that that actually does work. These, yeah, this one actually cuts angles. Can you see the teeth? This one cuts straight angles. Yeah, these work really well. I don't know if you've ever got actually had a chance to do that, but I highly recommend giving that a try. Get you a pair and cut the trailing edge of your aircraft with these. Planes seem to like that. How many aircraft do I have? Do you remember um about 4 years ago I took y'all on a tour of our hangar? It's actually on my channel. It's not on this channel, I think. Um I'd love to say it's a little bit less than that, but um it's actually probably the same because while I got rid of some, I've added so many. I mean, dude, it's just like keeping. Sometimes for the show, I get them ready, so like it's just like keeping those here, you know. So like, dude, oh, there's hijack, haze, and javelin, and three different versions of javelin. There's five planes right there, you know. I always keep them handy, so it's like how many? Shit. Any one point in time, I usually have 400. The vampire experimental still sits here. The one I built last week, kept it nearby. And these are just the ones that are nearby. Nova's still sitting here. I got an axe sitting here. I mean, like I said, and I count them. They're not technically mine, but they are because they're here. But yeah, any one given time, there's usually about 400 available somewhere in the neighborhood. And if you go to the palace, well, that probably actually only adds about like 30 more or something like that. Well, no, I think the palace alone's got 50. The pad's probably got about 20 or 30. So maybe about 75 more. So probably about 500. Way too many. Let me see here. Wait. I'm not going to count, but I'm just taking a rough guesstimate. Again, you'd have to watch that video to get an idea. Because while the aircraft have changed, the space they've taken up hasn't. So if I retired some or burned some or lost some, I have not lost any. Have burned a few, retired a couple, or a few, but like I'm not out of as many boxes or off as many lines as I'd like to be. I'd like to be just down to the main line, and I'm not. Phases, still too many. Too many. I mean, they're my favorite test aircraft because of my favorite flight. Well, I don't know. They're not as much my favorite. Now that I've grown up, it's wonderful to see an aircraft glide through the air, very pretty and very long. But I'm also enjoying the short range planes that just like make me follow them, like Axe, but like Goblin, like Vampire, well, Venom used to do that. Venom doesn't do that anymore. But Banshee, I find I'm enjoying those more. I mean, I love a good glide. That's always going to be a thing. So phases are going to be predominant, but like Wyvern, Cirrus, which is the smaller version of Nimbus, you remember that? Yeah, they're fun to watch. So phases, I probably got about that's the bulk majority of them. Uh, Probably 100 because the remainder of the aircraft are broken down a little over maybe 150. The other are broken down somewhat evenly between the rest of them. I've only got a handful of Nimbuses. I got a shoebox full of vampires with some on the line and some on the other line, so there's probably about 30 or 40 of them. I got about a dozen goblins, about 25 Cirrus, about 30, no, about 40 banshees, about the same amount of coyotes, about 25 wasps. This is approximate, but a good number. About 30, maybe about 40 wyverns. Yeah, I got a few. I don't have too many zephyrs, but okay, let me cut this. Yeah, I'm kind of like prolonging the inevitable here. The only part about cutting it straight, the one problem I'd have about cutting it straight is if I cut it straight. Well, first of all, am I actually making the? Am I doing this right? Am I making the? Yeah, this will be the. Yeah, I'm doing it right. This will be the. This will be the keel. This will be the fuselage. So this will be the wing. The thing about doing this is I wanted to actually make it this way because if I make the cut this way, I can make the body blend into the tailplane, the empennage. I plan on giving it. The important thing to take away from this is this aircraft's not going to be this long. You get quiet because like the creative juices are trying to flow through and see what I'm trying to do here. If I put it there. The one thing that scares me about it is, well, again, it's the sheet, and you have to kind of tangibly feel it. So when you're dealing with the sheet, that you know, is it going to be strong enough? And that's what I'm dealing with here. It's like I can't make the cut and make the aircraft weak. Here we go. You knew it was coming. Ooh. Do it as soon as I cut it. Okay, bear with me now. You're going to follow along while I do some crazy crap, huh? Oh, nope, 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 nope. I realized something. Not going to do that. Not going to do that. Okay. The one thing you always have a problem with it, well, you have to keep it square. The important thing about that is keeping it square. I like the triangle back there. See that? I like that. Not going to keep that, but I like it. Although, now I'm looking at it, I'm like, why am I not keeping that again? That would actually be, how hard would that be to do it that way? Is that even a viable? Not anymore, because I folded the angle back in. Something to think about for the next aircraft. I kind of enjoy that. That's okay. But anywho, what are we thinking? Horizontal tailplane bigger or the vertical stabilizer bigger? I'm thinking with a paper airplane, thinking the vertical stabilizer. Well, it really could go either way. I don't think it matters too terrible much. Actually, you know what? What I should do first is chop the end off I'm talking about. I hate it when it does that. Actually, it's not bad. See, told you it wasn't going to be that long. Okay, now the thing is, got to make a step. So first of all, we do this. If you're following along at home, I'm carving it up. Told you it wasn't going to be that big. Mm, I can't. I got to leave it like this. Scheiße mit Käse. Oh, I won't hurt it. Okay, so we'll do. Ooh. Okay. Then we look at what we got left. So we're dealing with this here, right? So then we cut. We split it in half. It's too big, isn't it? Well, I'm not done yet. Yeah, I'm not done yet. Okay. Hmm. I know it's like making Mark like breathe heavily every time I do something like this because he's like, "No, don't do that." Oh God, you did that. No, don't do that. Oh my God, you did that. Damn, I gotta fold it again like this though. Stop. I'm sorry. Now I'm getting quiet, but I'm building. Want to play the music? Damn, this is hard because my shingles, my fingers are covering the light, and this is dark. Part of the I don't know if you guys put tail fins, and we've talked about tail fins obviously, and how I'm interested in that stuff, but I don't know if you've ever done it. But one of the things that makes the tail fins important is a lot of people like to just cut it and then put. Damn it! Stop that! It is stiff. Um, you just put them in there like a single sheet like that. But one thing you ought to do, you remember your tail fins, is fold over that leading edge like you would your leading edge of your wing. It makes them stronger. And then you don't have to cut the angle into them. You actually just form whatever angle you want to into them. It makes them that much stronger and a little bit more um, easier to, well, not easier per se, but something to play with. See, because now they'll come up. Stop. You will come up, I promise. Made the cut and I finished the cut, right? Okay, so now they're going to be the ones up here. They'll be taped. I might alter that a little bit. And these will be the actual empennage. What do you mean flight video? What are you talking about? Oh, I know. Yeah, I meant to. How in the hell does that end up so different? That's weird because the leading edge matches, I think. Okay, close to matches. Okay, it could be better. Yeah, it could be better. The trailing edge doesn't, but that's not going to keep that anyway, so. Alright. Now, we're going to do this anyway. We're talking about flight video. What? I ain't got no flight videos yet. I know, and to Robert, I apologize. I meant to actually get that up there, so they're coming. I got others I took, so just haven't posted them up there yet. This one I kind of feel should be like so. So in other words, not past the trailing edge. Good God. Follow me. I don't wear glasses, but I wear glasses. These glasses are not real glasses. They're blue blockers because there's a lot of blue light. I find it helps. Don't like the vertical so much, but the horizontal did pretty good. Okay, let's get off that annoying back end piece right there. Doesn't matter how that gets cut off, it just needs to be cut off. Now I'm also thinking I don't like how tall they are, but then again, no, I don't like how tall they are. They're gonna change. We're gonna change that. I don't like how tall they are. Gotta go all over here, why don't you? Yeah, a little bit better angle. Actually, you know what? You said a little bit more. There we go. That makes me happy. Okay. Now, the stuff is going to take my origami away. Yep. You have to tape these down. If you don't tape these down, there's really no way to tuck them. At least the way I built these. There is a way to do that. 332 does that. Phase 9s do that. But it depends on how you build them. I built them this time in such a way, and I wasn't thinking about that initially because what I was thinking about doing was folding them down in so they, give it a little bit more structure, strength to the inside. But then I'm also like, I don't care. Yeah, I ain't about, like I said, I craft, so I ain't about worrying about like piddly little garbage like that. I'm gonna do what I see fit to make it work. Like I'm gonna tape a paper clip into this damn thing. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Although it could hold it though. It could. Oh no, it didn't fold. Thank God. It could hold it though, but I'm not gonna do that. And now, of course, doing the tape. What are you mad about? Robert, what's going on, my friend? How you doing, bro? You all right? Life treating you better? How's your kid, man? How's that leg? Obviously resting up. Get him on crutches. It's been a week, so it's not like the next day. Been a week, so I got to figure like how far they be along. I know it's pretty cool, isn't it? This color, yeah. Really hard to like balance out my folds and everything, but it's all right though. I don't like how weak that is. I'll probably have to add something just to strengthen that. Maybe. I might be able to get away with it. Well, of course you're working. Maybe you get your kid back out of the emergency room. It's like, get your ass back to work. I remember that was how I felt like when we got COVID. Just because, like, when COVID was the thing at my job, one of the dudes at work didn't know it at the time, had COVID. You know what we did for that shit? They sent us home that day and quote unquote sterilized the place, and we had to come in the next day. You remember how everybody had a lockdown protocol? This was the early days too, when everybody went into that lockdown protocol, quote unquote, where it's like you don't come back for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever the hell it is, because y'all might have it too, or whatever the hell, because we feared the worst. That was our lockdown. It was like you leave. Matter of fact, we still stayed open because it happened like late in the day even. They found out at 2, sent us home. We'd already been there for like 3 quarters of the day. They sent us home. 2 or 3 people still stayed to get the shipments out. Like, okay, they're in COVID Central. Cool. And we all came back. We didn't even have to wear masks the next day. Like, are you what? And they love to tell us we're essential. No, we're not. We are not essential. We make wire. We make wire kits. You don't think there's millions upon billions upon trillions of miles of wire out there already that we need to make one more? It's crucial today that we're going to build a hospital. They try to tell us that too. Like, well, ours goes to emergency services and building hospitals. You think that hospital is going to be built tomorrow? If they get the wire today? Stupid, 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 just stupid. No, we ain't essential. God, just kill us already. This was a potentially fatal disease, but like, nah, it's all right. We'll be all right. People thought like you'd be in jeopardy because you was like you could be whatever it is, asthmatic, problematic, symptomatic, got AIDS, whatever the hell it is. Your problem is like, nope. It took people equally. Didn't care whether you were healthy or not. It depends on how something you are, something. And it's like, dude, these people, man, I swear to God. That ain't why I left. Should have been, but ain't why I left. Looks kind of dopey with the nose reverse, so we're going to fix that too. God, looks kind of dopey cutting that kind of angle on the nose, but there you are. India. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, well. You say like exile, like, you saying like I got the pick. Do I have the pick? I don't know if I've got that pick. Do I got that pick? I did promise that, like, if we talked about it during the show, I was going to bring it up and have the pick and do the thing, but you're once again talking about a very particular plane, and the hell do I know if I've got number 26 or 23? What number did you say? I think I got it. Are you going to be that disappointed if I don't have it? That's 16. That's a good shot, though. Refresh my memory, Abby. What the hell does 23 look like? Or do you need a pick so you know what it looks like? Because I don't, you don't, we don't. I'm looking. I'm looking. That's a Diablo. I'm looking. Bear with me, guys. I'm looking while y'all look at the stellar creation. No pun intended. It really is a stellar creation. Now, I don't have to worry about, like, structural integrity on the fins because the air, when it flows through, will actually keep them up there. I may be considering something to hold the tailplane up, but I'm pretty sure this aircraft will actually fly. Oh yeah, I do. There's 23. Now, other than the fact that I wouldn't know if I hadn't looked at it because it's captioned as 23, I know it's 23. Cute little plane. Oh, look at what we got here. What the hell? That's a KIA built in my possession. Huh. Wow, his bird has aged badly. Well, I just realized he took the shot, and I mean, it might be the thing, but it's not, though. What the hell is that? I'm trying to get, like, the bestest shot so it actually looks like the aircraft. Lord of mercy. Yep. I got it. I got it. I got it. Uh, hold on. I had to find it. And once again, I was actually more quiet than I wanted to be, didn't I? Sorry. Big ass shot. There she blows. Oh, you sent it? Sweet. You sent the planes? Cool. Oh, I have something to look forward to. And that turns out like an X-wing in the back, but looks pretty cool. Got a twin keel going on, so stability will be helped there. Yeah, yeah. I like planes like this. Will it fly? Who the hell knows? Oh yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, yeah. It flies pretty good. Didn't do the long glide, but I didn't figure it would do the long glide. I figured this was going to be more of a it's kind of at the mercy of its design, and I don't have any structural strength holding the wings back, which is what happens when you don't put the wing pockets down the fuselage. So, you suck. You should have landed properly. Land like a plane does. Oh, you suck. Not only did you not land, but you knocked out my panda. Don't knock down my spirit panda. Must have bank. You didn't see it because of where I parked the stuff now. Here comes. There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the stuff. Yeah. Yeah, she looked pretty good. Sparkly. Sparkly right there. Yes, it flies good. I could probably make it fly better. Actually, I know I can't, but I don't know exactly. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with that formula because you mean I got all this crap here, but I don't have. I've got it all for display. I didn't bring anything along for. Remember we did a show on structure, internal structure, and stuff like that. Usually keep that shit on hand. I don't have it on hand right now. I can. It's like it wouldn't be hard to get it, but I don't have it. It doesn't need to be done either. I mean, I can deal with what's there. The point of the thing is the plane works, so I'm gonna leave it like that. And this is an example of some of the aircraft you can do. Now that I completed the sheet, so I gave it some tech, borrowing it. So this is kind of the idea I had. I knew I was going to give it tailplanes. I go, what, Avi? Why are you mad? You didn't get any airplanes mailed? You wanted some planes mailed? Well, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Hershey's Kisses, P.O. Box 2283. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm trying to remember those commercials. Um, this is kind of the idea I had. Actually, no, this is pretty much the idea I had. Uh, you didn't watch any of that because I didn't transition over. Ah, man, I had. Oh, that was good. Landed. Um, yeah, I had. This is what I wanted to do. I had some better ideas, but not like that. I could. It's always tricky when you're dealing with aircraft like that you're first building out, and you don't know if you're going to have where your folds initially are going to be, but you got an idea of like weight distribution. You've got an idea of design execution. Where you're going to cut, where you're going to fold. Um, Obviously, good to have that going in because if you don't know where you're going to end up. I got a wing that curls. Tailpins aren't standing up. That could have, should have, would have probably been fixed by actually doing what I said and folding the folds down into the body so that there's some kind of structure to hold them down. And I may just do that yet if I can. Um, Interesting that that wing wants to come down more than the other wing, but pretty cool little bird. That is pretty much the tech I wanted to get in on there. I like the double keel. It's got a tailplane. It's got a full plan for him. The wings may be a little large. It can be fixed though. But this is if you build something like this, you're kind of like you're treading different water because if you're going to break up the structure that would normally be strong by having a full wing all the way to the back, you probably should carry the wing pockets all the way down into the body, which I did not do. That makes it kind of weak. And then the same thing with the folds. The tailplane, the horizontal tailplane doesn't really matter. The vertical fins you want to kind of try to improve on, and I made them kind of weak. And but I have ideas. I could implement said ideas, but it would actually require more and more weight. So I'm debating on how much I really want to do it. The debate is still live. Um, but again, like when it flies through the air, it flies through the air unlike it's presented right here, of course, because wind is kicking. Well, I can't make it do it really, but you can kind of see it because this thing's flopping. These are flopping. So they do have an upward angle, so they will be more upright when the aircraft flies. So it will be more like a fin. And I can affect a better fold towards the inside, which keeps them more rigid along the keel. So now they actually truly are more like fins. I did develop a new aircraft the other day. Uh, I'm not calling it ND-26 1 or 2 because I'm pretty sure it's just a technical offshoot. of ND25-3. Yeah, I got another idea. I didn't want to do this, but since we're live and I'm here and I'm building, we're gonna do it. Just as much as like Totosan's builds and it's quiet, I kind of like talking with y'all because, well, you don't really sit along for my creative, like the thought process going into it because you don't really, I don't do the discussion. You're not crawling inside my head yet. I'm sure Google's working on that. But yeah. But see, like every little thing, why does it take such intense concentration that we can't talk while we're doing our construction? That's why I found out that most people when they're construction videos, they don't talk to you too much. Because even like other videos I watched of people building, like, yeah, they don't talk much. There's an interview going on. You have to have a color commentator and you have to have the guy that knows what's going on. Like we did before when we were doing the builds. Because that way somebody's keeping track while somebody else is, like building. There they go. That's better. There's a cheater way of doing it when you build like something like this. Um, I put small pieces of tape right along the crease. That keeps them upright. The other thing though is a lateral fold down the length will actually like it's subtle. It's a little crease to actually break that crease, but goes travels up and down. That gives it strength up and down the lateral height in this case of the fin. So now they're more upright and they want to stay that way. The tape was probably just more for added strength, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. I kind of like it. Flies better now that I did that. I think it was like all the wing area trying to fight it before, but now it's got a little bit more presentation because it actually has a fin. Pull itself in for a landing quite well. It'll sit down really good because without any winglets or anhedrals, it's still got the twin keel design. So it's got something to rest on, which also means, yes, it has a launch capacity or it has a cargo capacity built in. So, like triple fold on there, it could be a bomber, could be a fighter bomber, could be a transport. These planes like this have potential. Looks remarkable when you see it. Like, okay, yeah, kind of talk about like what Robert was saying. Yeah, the color makes it really cool, don't it? Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I got what accomplished. If you sat along with me, you can kind of build it. I'm sorry I kind of didn't give details, but I was creating literally. You sat along, you traveled along during a honest to God creationary thing. So, is it going to be my next plane? Wait and see. I don't know. Um, y'all don't usually sit along for my creations that are going to become my next planes, but I don't know why that is. Maybe you will, because maybe this will be. I like it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I kind of do wish I. You know, I'm gonna hate myself for doing this, but I'm gonna do this because I want to do this. I feel it needs this. I don't know why. Actually, yeah, I do because damn thing's unbalanced a little bit, but that's not gonna cause its flight to be bad. Here we go again. This might hurt. Mark, don't watch this. Mark doesn't like it when I cut stuff. It's small. It's subtle. But I dig small and subtle. Small and subtle. See, this is one of the things we always want to discuss that always kind of bugged me in the back of my mind when we always talked about design intent and like, like what you were building versus what kind of construction. And in the case, this is what I bring up with a lot of times when I talk about like what Robert builds. Robert, you still attached? Like that's folding, but it's not because you're just forming a body. Like you can form anything that looks like anything, and literally take a plan form and cut it And like if you built along with me on this one, you could do that. But if you cut like the scallops, or if you cut like that, a back angle so it goes like this, or you cut them so that there's a rhombus kind of wing on there, I mean, is it a different plane again? Well, yeah, it is, because you're going to change the performance just by changing the layout of the trailing edge. So, design intent, you built the whole thing and just made three simple cuts. Matt, I think that's what you suffer from when you deal with like the people in Instructables. Like all they have to do is one little cut here, one little piece of tape there, and it's a different plane. According to them, according to most people. I mean, sorry to say, it's like you'd have to come to some people like us, where we're like nitpicking every little thing. When we talk about design intent, we talk about where we started out versus how we got to the plane that we got to. I don't even know if I like that, because for some odd reason that makes it look more like a box. Oh God, I got an idea. I might fly it the way it is before I do it. I got an idea though. But so you don't feel like you're missing out. Something brand new for this. My idea, which I will probably do by the way, which is something I actually was intending to do before I realized the structure on this was not going to work out. I think I'm going to make the cut this way, so the wings got a little bit more sweep look to it. But I'm going to manta it like I typically do with boom aircraft. If y'all sat with me through boom aircraft builds before, cut it here, but then I'm going to give it a fillet or a fillet or whatever you want to call it. But I'm probably going to cut it here and then stop like where the point of the scissors are, and then make another cut here so the wing meets where the tailplane goes, instead of like literally take it down there and then have bare nothing. I don't want to have bare nothing there. Why I'm not doing it right now is, well, this is where I want it to be, so this is where it's going to stay. I don't know if I'll enjoy all this tailplane area. Second guessing that. It's always, yeah, the tailplane's always tricky too. It looks good enough when you hold it together. The fin didn't come out exactly the way I wanted. But it doesn't have to look good, it just has to work. And it does work. I didn't know you spoke Swedish. I've been trying to figure out what that means in the background, and nearest I can tell that it's Norwegian or Swedish. Is it like fignigen? I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway. So if you sat along with me, we built the aircraft. Yeah, I'm sorry I kind of couldn't tell you the details. I couldn't even tell you the size of the sheet. Well, I can tell you the size of the sheet we started off with. So if you wanted it, because I can go back to the stickers were the same size sheet. So probably going to be American style. It is. It's an A3, A4. It's an A4 sheet. I got to remember that. Truthfully speaking, that's an 8.5 by 11-inch for us paper, but for the rest of y'all, it's an A4 sheet. So I did that. Came out that way. Allow me to bring up the freaking forgotten. What is it called? You know what it's called. Tell me about it. It's called conversion thing. That way I can tell you a little bit of details of this thing. So, the aircraft as it sits right now, it's 9 inches long, about exactly from nose tip after it's been cut to the rudder. So 22.8 centimeters. The width maximum of the wing here, 7 inches, almost again exact, which is 17.78 centimeters, 17 and 3/4 centimeters. Y'all understand that, right? I don't have to go to millimeters on that. The tailplane, in case you also want to match that up, the back end back there, or the horizontal tailplane anyway. The width on that is, well, okay, expanded. Let's put it this way, expanded, because I'm letting it sit there like, flat. So it's variable. But let's just say it's, well, I want to make sure I say it right. How about this? Relaxed. There's a perfect way of saying it. Right now, relaxed. Okay, that way you know what it means. Relaxed. Relaxed. It's at 4 1/8. That being about 10.4 centimeters. Follow along on my journey as I discover the language of the rest of the world. And the measurement, of course, also being relaxed on the wings. So the height, get you the height as well, just to make sure you got the height. The height at the back end is, well, that's 3/4 of an inch back there. Yes, I'm trying to be happy. It's 1.9 centimeters right there at the rudder. To that, now the tailplane adds a little bit more. Jesus. I got no way to measure that because the stupid thing doesn't go all the way to the edge of the sheet, but. Oh, 1 1/4. Let me get it right for people. 1.25. That's 3.17 centimeters back here. But, that is only from the fuselage to the fin tip. That's not all the way down to the keel. So you do the math on that. This was 3/4 back here. But I will also add, I've given it a slant, so the rudder has more height than the nose does. Very slight slant. Say that 3 times fast. This is actually a 1/2 inch. That's 3/4 of an inch. So the slant is only a 1/4 inch difference. Stop it. 0.6 centimeters difference between here and here, but there is a 6 centimeter difference as it slopes up. And the W body, the keel, this is actually shorter. You can see that. Can you see that? You can see that, right? Yeah. You'll notice the actual rudder there versus the V rudder. That one is lower. So I knew I wanted to make it small. You can alter that as you see fit. If you followed along and were trying to build it, that's really at your discretion. But you did notice that my first keel fold was actually folding it up there instead of the wings. I've seen some people fold their planes that way. That technique is pretty cool, but technique also can kind of like really get a hold of you. You know what I mean? You can't just. You got to watch how you manipulate it. A lot of cuts. A lot of cuts into it to get that out of there. I mean, it started out with a big enough sheet, but ended up cutting 1 3/4 off of it. I'm holding that up so I can actually see that. So there was already 1 3/4 length cut off the sheet. Should have been 1 1/2. Was the sheet bigger? Because I cut the nose too. I cut the nose. So the sheet was it was bigger than 11? Because that would be 9, 10, 11 3/4 plus the nose. How big is a sheet? I might not have started with a standard A4. Bear with me, folks. I gotta figure this out. Unencumbered. I can hold this and get to that. So you were right there. You were right there. Did I cut any more of that off? Do you remember? That says 11. I cut that out. I thought the nose was folded on the nose and then Oh well. Go with the 8.5 by 11. Go with the A4. You'll get the same sheet. Yeah. What do you mean? What do I eat? What do you eat? I eat everything. I'm an omnivore. I eat pretty much whatever the hell I want. I don't kind of mean it that way. I just mean like, I eat anything except zucchini and squash. I don't particularly like zucchini and squash or sauerkraut or what's another thing I don't like. No, I'm not particularly fond of mushrooms. Don't like olives. Hate sauerkraut. Love me some cucumbers and some pickles though. Don't like candy off the top. Like, not really too much. I love chocolate. I don't like candy. not sugary candy. Oh, I don't know everything. That's a really random, like, well, not random, but that could be answered in any way, shape, or form. We turned this into a culinary show. It's funny you say that because I actually had to cook, or I didn't have to cook, but I wanted to cook some. I cooked prime rib burgers last night, and I didn't make them as burgers. They're formed patties, but I didn't marinate them either. I submerged them in a smoky, oniony style marinade and didn't cook them on the pan. I let them soak cook in the oven so that the flavor seeped into them. Because I don't know if you've had prime rib before, but prime rib is a really really dense meat. Even if you get ground sirloin, you're kind of approaching the dense meat of the dense meat. So you know that like they're also stupid thick. So like if I were to cook them, grill them, it'd be like, well, I cooked the outside, but the inside would still be pink, and there'd really be no flavor because it would only seep into the shell. So you gotta watch how you do it. Like I usually use a blend. I had to use some different blending on that one. I mean the standard salt and pepper and butter, but also a little bit of savory, a hint of smoke, and then like I said the onion mix. It's like an onion mix I use, but it gives it some flavor. It was more like a steak than a burger. The only thing that made it seem like a burger was they're shaped like a hockey puck, big, thick ass hockey pucks. But rather enjoyed that. Might have to do that again. They were kind of a rarity getting it at the butcher shop, but and the funny thing is like overall that's like a piece of meat that I normally wouldn't. Why the hell? Okay, so anyway, build the plane. Plane's cool. Hopefully you sat along for the build. If not, go rewind it. Um, Sorry the dimensions didn't get caught up. Maybe I should start flashing this crap up during the show so you guys can follow along. What do you think about? Wait a minute, guys. What do you think about something like this? I didn't consider this before. I did not consider this before, but I considered it now. And when we do builds, I was kind of considering that this actually might not be such a bad idea. You know, um, like what the hell would I call this? Um, just put info. Let's put info. Infop. You ever notice that if you type info, you can't not type the P? It's like I have to type the P. Drives me nuts. Let's go with I hope it's not doing that. What did I say 9 inches was? Yeah, we know that. That's old news. He didn't die yesterday. He died like almost a freaking year ago now. And it was sad. Kinda. Kinda. But it was also like, hell, probably expected. Okay. I don't know if I like it, but I could do this. Hold on. I'm experimenting here. I'm experimenting here. Why in the hell is it size 256? Let's make it tiny. Wow, that's great. Can't even see it. Wow, that's great. Can't even see that either. Can I do anything to this? There are filters? Oh, no, there's not. Hold on. Bear with me. I'm going to show you something that we're thinking about doing here. We have really considered this. Ooh, I like it. Yes, yes, that's good. Yes. Oh, yes, that's even better. Yes, we'll do a little bit of that. That's not really where I was trying to go with that, but whatever. Now if I turn it a color of sliver, there we go. Oh, you can't even see that. We're gonna use that. It's not visible. There we go. You don't need background. Want to outline it? Oh, that makes it pop. Maybe we should do that. Okay. So what I was thinking of was this. This way you knew the size of the aircraft. I got to think about more graphics and dynamics of the show so that like it doesn't happen, or it does happen, but it's not. You know, it's not. I'll leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it there. Yeah, that's cool. And then blind it so that it's gone. Well, see that way you can tell like there goes the aircraft. Okay, so but anyway, yeah, that way like you can tell the dimensions of the plane and stuff like that when. Damn, I'll have to do that. But that can also come post production too. So anyway, I gotta get that stream deck Mark was talking about and help me out with that shit. So right, so show people that was a good show. That was cool. Um, we built something else. We're gonna highlight that from now on. Be a little bit different. Um, yeah, I'm tired of that crap. You can sit in with some builds, and that way you can enjoy some aircraft. I think that's kind of why you came to the show in the first place, is it not? So we're gonna try building more often. See if that gets you. Uh, was pretty cool. Thanks for coming out. Great that y'all popped in, Matt. I'm sure you're out there like working quietly in the background. Still waiting for some of them updates because you said you were working on some stuff in the background. Highly anticipated. Wondering if we're going to see like changes to the front line. I don't know. Maybe. Robert, obviously, highly anticipated getting some aircraft here. New aircraft coming through. I always like having new aircraft in the hangar. Um, that's pretty cool. Making a promise to get some of those flight. I love having. You got. I hope you labeled them because I would like to know like what I got. So do I got names? Do I know what I'm getting? On them is what I mean. They have dates. Do I know what day they're built? Might be asking too much. Uh, See, if you get ones from me, they're gonna be like it would be that way. And if you want some, I'll send you some. I can send you. I can send you some builds. Yeah. It's between members typically, but I can send others out. It's really cool having that. I always wanted to be like somebody could be that dude. Yes, and we'll have to get Kay on the show. Yeah. Well, you got to get everybody back on the show. We got to get see if we can tab in. Robert needs to not be at work, so we can tab in there, have him come on there. If Matt wouldn't want to be like ever feel like he doesn't want to be mic shy or camera shy, we can get him vocalize and get his inputs on the planes. That would be kind of cool. Right now, I feel like he's a disembodied voice of an ancient god watching over us sometimes. every time, every time I text in, that's why I love having him there. Um, and obviously, like, yeah, we get Mark back on, and anybody else, like any of the interviews we got coming up, make sure. Hopefully, we have better shows to show, or good shows to show, or what have you. Um, oh, flights! Yeah, I got to get the flight videos posted. I think that's in the card that's in there right now. Yeah, so look for that. In the meantime, you guys need to fly, so get out there flying because that would kind of help out. Like if you fly and we fly, then there's a whole bunch of flying we get to watch. And wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something to see? Like that? Yeah, we should do that. Ha! So in the meantime, hey guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for keeping the show hectic and live and engaging. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime,